Hey, what's going on, guys? Kingscrusher here. Have you ever been thinking about improving your playing strength as a human chess player using the principles that chess engines do? Well, I did, and in recent times I've been practicing some tricks that actually started helping me to win versus stronger opponents, and I've been making some videos on crushing like 2200s player. That was the recent video, and but you might be wondering that was just an accident. I was lucky that time. So I decided to play a little bit more, and this time I've played 9 games in a row, winning every game. The opponent's strength is around my strength. So some opponents are a bit stronger. There was one game with a really stronger opponent. But anyway, I just want to give you an idea that these principles I'm talking about are kind of working, and now I can claim that these principles do work in range from 1700s up to 2200s if you're able to get the specific position and well, I don't know, maybe if you're lucky enough. So the core idea is very simple. The core idea is trying not fighting on the board. The idea is not care much about the result. The idea is to kind of sit back, enjoy the show, and try to analyze the position, just like as if you were a chess engine. I believe this is really easier to demonstrate rather than to explain, and I'll turn this handcrafted stockfish evaluation in order to give you an idea like the moves. Well, obviously I'm not doing all the strongest moves because I'm not the engine, but hopefully you will get the idea that I'm trying to present here. So all the games I'm playing the same opening. So for whites I'm playing a sort of a Keynesian attack system if opponent allows me, otherwise you'll see what happens. And for blacks I'm playing Pirc defense with kind of 2 plans, so either attack on the queen side or trying to undermine the e5 and open like the g file and try to attack there. But in this particular case this wasn't really the scenario, so the most of the games were going to this queen side attack. Well, anyway, without further ado, let's actually have a look at the games, and I'm not going to be diving deeply because we have 9 games to have a look at, and instead of the detailed analysis like I've been doing in the previous videos, for instance, here instead I want to emphasize the overall concept. And all these games, in all of these games I do exactly the same thing, so hopefully that 9 of the games would show you exactly what I'm trying to deliver, and hopefully these games would tell it better than I do using the words. So let's start. Alright, so opponent's kick starts with knight f3, and I respond with the d5. So here I didn't really think that he would be playing d4 as well. So here I'm already out of the territory that I'm used to, so I'm not playing Pirc defense here. And every time when I encounter an opening that I have no idea how to play, I have no idea about the opening theory, I'm just trying to develop the pieces, just like as I had a piece square table in my head, just like the engines do, which gives them an idea where to develop its pieces. My idea is just to put the knights like this, bishop here, queen here on d7, then castle queen side, and potentially start an attack on the king side. That's kind of the general plan here, and this is exactly what I'm trying to do here. So I'm just preparing the castle queen side. The good old Fritz chess engine was playing in this style with quite a success, and just castling, so nothing special so far. And now I will start doing something on the king side. Okay, so exchanging, doesn't matter. And already, if you have a look at the position, it really feels like as if black is playing with the engine, but I swear this is not. I swear I was playing this myself, because otherwise I would just get banned. So a bit strange move, knight a3, so probably he wants me to play e4, or to play e5 or e6, and then capture and give him an option to checkmate me here on b7. Well, I'm not going to be doing that, so I just continue my attack. So I'm sacrificing the pawn to open the g file, so potentially the rook comes in, and maybe I can just make some noise here on the king side. But opponent doesn't go for this. Well, instead, yeah, so I don't mind to exchange pieces. Again, like something that engines, something that is specific to engine, and this game is really nice in this respect. So I don't see that white is much better here. So I'm just calmly playing. I'm okay to play the endgame, even though I'm not good in playing endgames really. But anyway, so let's have a look at what happened. And well, my plan is pretty straightforward. So I'm just pushing the pawns on the queens on the king side. Nothing really special. I'm trying not to blunder anything. Trying to avoid the knights from going to the squares where potentially it might be it might bring some issues to me. So just trying to block the king side. So if one day I would be happy to exchange everything, then potentially one of these pawns would win. All right, so here just asking the knight to go somewhere else, and it's like all I'm doing here, just grabbing the center, just trying to gain some space. So calmly playing the end game without wanting much, and strangely enough, the evaluation already goes slightly better for blacks here in this position. So yeah, here's probably he just blundered the pawn. So another interesting option. So when you're in the battle, you often blunder trivial moves. And here, I just sit back for a while, and I thought like, okay, maybe I just grab the pawn. Why not to grab the pawn? So at very least, my pawns would have been much stronger after. So just grab the pawn, and oh, sorry for this. Just click the wrong button. So I grab the pawn. So he wants to put the rook, put my king under the pressure here, but it's fine. I believe this is okay. I'm just opening the file myself, and now my bishop is quite good here. But obviously he can capture with a knight. I was calculating that variation. I was okay with this, so nothing. But actually, yeah, for some reason here, yeah, probably if I was playing the engine, that I would probably lose this entirely. Because of, yeah, I don't know why exactly. Yeah, just okay. my bad, but fortunately opponent didn't see that. So let's have a look. Yeah, so he didn't have to capture. So here, so he had to capture just with a different knight. So he had to capture with this knight. And yeah, in this case, I couldn't capture with my bishop. Yeah, so he blundered as well. Okay, yeah, but fortunately, yeah, he did exactly like I was thinking he would. So yeah, definitely this proves that I'm not an engine. That wasn't cheating here, really. Okay, and here we go. So suddenly after, it's like here already black seems to be better. Okay, so I'm just I don't mind to exchange anything. Now I have this passed pawn that would be running if it works, and just completely crushing endgame. And just a few more moves to consider. So yeah. And yeah, here we go. And yeah, I believe he resigned here. Yeah, white resigned. So this was the first game, so it's like it wasn't perfect really, but being calm even in the situation where it was much worse, and I should lose this game really, but yeah, being calm results in the fact that the opponent may just blunder as well, and no matter what his rating is, by the way, because the later games would show this. Okay, let's go for the next game. In the next game, I've played versus, yeah, it's a slightly stronger opponent at this time. All right, so I'm playing whites, and let's turn the evaluation. So here I wanted to play what I call the Kingscrusher system. So for instance, this didn't happen in the game, but if black goes like this, then the plan is, I'm not sure what exactly black should be doing here, but the plan is to play something like this, potentially. And not castling, but instead pushing the f pawn, then bringing the knight here, and potentially, if the pawn goes, then potentially sacrificing the knight, opening the h file, the queen jumps, and the checkmate if black is not careful. But this didn't happen in the game. And if this, and if instead, well, actually, it was quite similar. So here, I hope that this scenario that I've just described would actually happen, but no, it wasn't. So instead, well, probably one of the strongest continuations for black, I believe, in this position in particular. But again, like this engine sort of a behavior, like in your head when you don't really care much about what you do, you just calmly analyze at the level that is available for you to analyze. So yeah. I don't do anything special here so far, and well, at this point already, the engine thinks that that black is better, but I was pretty happy with the position because there was nothing wrong with this, and now here is some magic is going. So the first interesting thing to consider. So yeah, just want to give you an idea. So here, I was going to reroute the knight to e3 anyway, because I wanted to bring the knight closer to the center. Then potentially this knight goes to c3, having a grip on the d5, and then potentially hitting the c7. Then I wanted to bring the bishop here, rook here, and build the pressure because I have the open c file, semi-open c file. My king is quite safe. So this knight was going here anyway, but fortunately opponent helped me to bring this plan to action a bit faster with this move g7 j6, which I believe was a little bit of an accuracy here. And I'm just doing my plan here. So just want to build the pressure on c7 because I don't really care much about this. So if it takes, I probably take with the queen. So nothing special. I didn't really understand what this move is all about, so it's a little bit strange to me. Not sure, maybe supporting this f5, but why? Not sure. So here, what Kingscrusher says, calls it like the weakness of the last move. So I'm just attacking the rook, improving the position of my knight, and potentially going to d5. But this case, I have two knights supporting each other, so d5 is controlled fantastically well. And indeed I go there, so I don't mind this pawn to be captured. And even though this pawn now gets, actually it's not even isolated. So yeah, this pawn is not even isolated. Now you might be wondering that my king might go into a bit of a trouble. Well, I need to admit that. But anyway, my plan is working here. So and here is another trick. So this is something worth analyzing. So the idea here, well, black didn't capture in this position, but the idea was if black captures, then I capture this knight and put even more pressure on this c7. So this was my initial plan. So that's the reason why I put the knight to here to f5. So the engine is fairly okay with this move. Okay, still gives an advantage for whites. But he responds with this move with e7 to e6, and for some reason computer suggests going pushing b5 to b6. Well, I don't know, that was a bit of a rocket science to me, so I just calmly grabbed the knight as I was going to anyway. So the idea was just to the idea was just to prevent this rook from protecting the knight. That's the idea. So after knight goes to f5, the rook no longer protects the knight, so I can safely grab the knight with my bishop and put the pressure on c7. So that's the general plan here. All right, so I just keep going with my plan. So I'm pretty happy here as well, and yeah, just putting the knight away from being captured, capturing the bishop, and here pinning the rook and the knight. So the rook is going to be silly after, because it would be forced to protect its knight, and the attack on my king side is ruined after. So, well, there is some potential dangers here, but generally I think this is just okay. And on my side, I can still keep my plan with building the pressure, even the engine suggests doing so. And this is exactly the move that has been considered within the game. And here, well, I'm not sure why exactly he grabbed my pawn. So engine suggests taking with a queen. I probably took with a bishop. Yes, I took with a bishop. Check. And here another mistake. So don't look here. So can you spot the move? What's the move here that decides the game? Yes, rook goes to f8, and that's exactly the move that I did. And takes, and yeah, black resigned in this position. So this was the game. So far so good. Let's move further on. Now I'm playing, again playing whites versus, still slightly stronger opponent. So let's have a look. So I'm doing exactly the same thing. So here probably opponent wants to play the French defense. I don't know theory. I know a little bit, but I don't like the plans for white, so I'm not really clear what exactly I should be doing as white in the French defense. So instead I'm going for exactly the same plan. So pawn goes to g3, bishop goes to d2, knight goes to e2, castling, then f4, somewhere d3 maybe, and either exchange here, or if opponent allows me pass the f pawn further on, to keep all the forces of black on the queen side, not doing anything, and generating my attack on the king side. That's the idea. That's all I wanted to do. And here we go. So fairly standard opening thing. Well, here apparently this move, I believe this move is a mistake. Yeah, and an engine just thinks so as well. So I think that just going d4 straight away here. So let's have a look at the variation. So it just wins the piece immediately. I didn't see this at this particular moment. I saw this just one move later. So here I castle because I just wanted to keep my king safe. And here probably he should just retrieve back because, yeah, otherwise it's going to end up as a complete disaster. But he was he was trying to go for a hack attack. So probably potentially queen jumps here somewhere, but with this light square bishop, this doesn't really seem to be promising. So you should have like put the bishop, queen, exchange, and then castle queen side, and then going for this hack attack. In that case, that could work, but not here really. And here I'm going to win a piece, so nothing special really. Well, I need to admit that this knight is quite dangerous here. It's more dangerous. So if I go for this initial variation, I'll probably have just a free piece, and the king, my king would be more safe. But anyway, even here I was happy enough. So the reason why I took the bishop, because I didn't really want the bishop into h2, because if the queen goes 1d, so this might be really dangerous, and I thought that I could handle the knights. So that's the reason why I decided to capture exactly the bishop in this situation. So this sacrifice is another bit of a strange sort of a thing, because I just take it, and he opens the h file, and this might seem to be dangerous, but not really. I don't know. Probably if I was playing black in this position, I would probably go knight to h5. Yeah, then maybe I would go like this. I don't know. So probably the attack should have been generated like so. But the problem is that, yeah, it's not enough power, so black can't really do much here. So this sack doesn't quite work. I believe it just doesn't quite work. So yeah, this didn't happen in the game though. Instead what he did, instead he captured the pawn instantly, and I started since being the piece up, I started exchanging everything. That's the normal, that's the casual, that's the common strategy. If you're better, okay. So I just want to force the exchanges. Okay, so what did he capture? Yeah, he captured the knights. This is fine. All right, so yeah, I don't can't say video of my king is not really that great, but the pawn structure of black is not the most fantastic ever as well. So I'm using this weak and dark squares and start torturing the king, and also making use of d5 that I have the control over. So well, I know, why didn't I go for check here? Oh, I didn't go for a check because, yeah, that's this is why I didn't go for a check. So knight goes to e4, allows actually to grab on f6, get another free pawn and generate the attack. And unfortunately, despite the fact that white king seems to be absolutely naked, there is no way to attack it. And you just have a look at the evaluation. So, you know, like I often saw like the commentaries from like the much stronger players than I am. Then there are some variations in some positions that human player wouldn't ever go for. But if you're ranging, that's okay. And for me, this was absolutely okay. I didn't see any danger from my king, and I thought that I just can go for this sort of thing, because despite the fact it seems like the king is naked, it's quite pretty safe, and there is no danger for the king. So here we go, and now I'm just forcing the exchange, and I'll just have a piece up. Now I'm piece up here, and some technical stuff. So you just have a look at this fantastic bishops here. So they control the squares e6 and f6. So king is not going to escape. Also, it's not going to escape here as well. And also have a look at this at the queen side of blacks. So it's absolutely horrible. So the bishop is not developed. Rook is dead there. And look at this fantastic bishops for whites. And also the rook is gonna get activated just in a few moves. All right, and here is another move to make sure that black is not going anywhere. And then, well, this doesn't mean much. It just gives a pawn. And here, so if he took if he takes, then I just take the rook. Well, computer suggests to take the bishop, but I would take the rook. I don't see any problems with it. And here, just like so. And I think this is winning. But he didn't do so. He just dropped the bishop. So, and he shouldn't be exchanging. He should just drop the bishop. It's a bad idea to exchange the rooks, because black doesn't have any chance. And with the rook, he could at least torture on me a little bit. But the rook can fight this two fantastic bishops. So yeah, this game is sort of a doomed. Yeah, and the black resigned. Okay, let's move further on. So let's turn the evaluation and have a look. So, okay, so we have another Pirc defense. All right, and well, I'm just playing the Pirc defense, so I'm not sure whether white is doing what he has to do. Well, I know the plan when. I'm not sure whether this is the case here. Where you go f3, bishop d2, bishop e3, then queen d2, castle queen side, and pushing the pawn, trying to generate attack on a king side. And I have a game versus a guy nicknamed Political Scientist. That was the previous video on the channel. He was 2200, slightly more than 2200. So we played that sort of a position, and I won that game. And that was quite a fantastic one. And just, if you're interested, feel free to have a look at that, because just to give you an idea that this works not only with opponents of around my rating, but versus stronger opponents as well, like the system for all times, right? So, well, if you're gonna be playing this versus international master, you definitely get crushed. I try once, so yeah, make sure that's the case. But anyway, so here we go. Actually, already here, I could have castled here, because it doesn't. So even if it goes bishop to, oh man, even if it goes so here, if I say castle instead, if it goes for this plan, no, not like this. I'm sorry. What have I done? So if he goes here. So here, if I castle and he goes bishop to e3, for instance, and I play c6 here, b5 here, and what? Black to move? Yeah. So here, even like this, well, it's already not good. You see, like, yeah, it's already not good because we don't have f3. So this is one of the downsides. But even let's say I didn't go that way. So let's say I didn't play b5 here. Let's say I calmly play like so. Then even if it tries to go for this sort of a thing, it doesn't quite work. Even if this happens, then and if it goes for this h-file hack attack, yes, again, this is not that dangerous already, because yeah, the structure is different. And well, actually, yeah, definitely white has the potential here, and that's the reason why I didn't want to castle kingside. But anyway, so just wanted to give you the ideas of what could have happened in this position instead. So I play c6, and this is the general plan. Just playing c6, b5, b4, a5, maybe knight goes like this to c4 to get exchange for this bishop, and hope for the best, right? So after this move h3, I realized that there won't be any hack attack on the h-file, which made me quite happy. So I'm just going on with my plan. So well, here it's a bit arguable whether I should play a5 like it is. So probably would it be more accurate to play like this and actually just grab the central pawn. I believe this would be more like engine style, and then maybe even go for something like so you just suggest go in here. Yeah, so maybe just, I don't know, yeah, maybe just castle and be just a pawn up. Maybe this would be the case, but I just wanted to keep on with the concept, so just try to push my entire queen side and generate the counterplay there. So that was the plan. So just going on with the development, so supporting the knight, so if bishop takes, knight takes, so not wasting a tempo, not so in order to avoid wasting a tempo of bishop capturing on f6. So we don't want that. Now I calmly castle because there is no h-file attack anymore, and black king seems to be rock solid there, being castle, and yeah, white castle's kingside as well. So here this move h6 is just to prevent the knight from going to g5. Because otherwise it might be potentially dangerous at e6 if I go f5 one day. So yeah, and here I'm preparing f5 actually, and I also need to step aside with the king because currently the f7 pawn is pinned by the bishop, and this bishop is quite dangerous. It's not really that good for me to deal with this, but anyway, going just calmly to h8 might do the trick. And here another interesting thing, so I'm not capturing, because if I takes, and then what? Well, maybe like this, I don't know, but yeah, given this d6 square for a queen, I don't like this. Yeah, even though the computer suggests something, well, I don't like this position. So instead, just calmly, I'm trying to close the center, and there is no counterplay for whites on a queen side. Okay, so he might go here, but I just capture, so it's okay. So I prefer the closed game here, and I'm closing everything possible here. And now, yeah, finally playing my my f5, and he takes, and this is okay. So I just take with the bishop, take with the knight, takes, and here. Oh, sorry, just pressing something wrong, so it starts playing all the moves. Okay, so takes here. Okay, just trying to exchange this bishop because I don't like this bishop is kind of strong at e5. I want to get rid of that bishop. All right, so getting rid of the bishop, and I'm keeping the knight because I want to generate the attack, and this is crucial. So starting from here, we're going for this sort of an attack, and here we go. Takes. All right, check here, takes, okay, and yeah, just a few more moves. It's sort of execution here. Here, I don't know, what was I thinking of? Yeah, the idea, if it takes with the bishop, then I just take the rook. That was the idea. All right, and yeah, and black just resigned here because he loses the bishop here. yeah, that was the game. This guy has a nice nickname, Feel Free. Feel like Philip. Feel Free. Another fantastic game. So I was playing black here as well, and we have exactly the same Pirc defense. So it's like this, I'm playing exactly the same opening all the time, and I'm doing exactly the same things all the time, and it works all the time, as we can see here. Well, here I've improved a little bit. So already I'm not playing for a5 like I did earlier previously. And also, by the way, it's important thing to mention that black indeed is going for this h-pawn attack, and that's the reason why I didn't castle here as opposed to the previous game. So I'm not castling here, and instead I'm going the planned b4 move, and where the knight goes. And yeah, it's not the most fantastic ever square for a knight. So knight is doomed to spend the entire game landing on its initial square after all the moves. And now I'm starting to generate the attack already. So here suddenly black has a counterplay. And despite the fact that the evaluation is not really much in the favor of blacks, well, slightly it is, but well, white is considered to be okay according to the engine. But let's have a look what happened within the game. So yeah, this maneuver for knight is standard. So now I'm just trying to get some space with my second knight. Then I'm pushing d5, so closing the scope of this light square bishop, then maybe even castling. So yeah, it didn't happen for h-pawn attack to happen just yet at very least. Okay, so just have a nice knight, and yeah, just avoiding opponent having a nice knight as well. Now already, you see, like, black seems to be much better here. So I'm bringing the counterpart for this bishop. So potentially I want to eye the a2 square here. All right. I didn't understand why did he move bishop to h6. It's a little bit of a mystery to me. And finally, I managed to exchange my bishop and grab this h2. And now what is interesting in this game and how this game is different from the others, and especially how important this is not to stuck in the attack, because sometimes it happens when you're attacking your opponent, you're completely forget about your defense and start losing, and then you just lose because you may blunder something and it's not going anywhere. So here you just have a look that black has an attack, so evaluation is to black's favor according to the engine. Yeah, I have some weaknesses, and here, starting from this move, what I did, I thought like, okay, so I feel like I'm better in this position. I don't really want to checkmate the king just directly straight away, so I'm not looking for some forcing variations. I'm not trying to sacrifice something. So probably I could have go like, I don't know, maybe like this. And actually this will lose according to engine. All right. So yeah, probably just losing the rook and either getting checkmated, or yes, some disaster is going to happen. So I didn't do this, but before using this engine, this principles of playing like an engine, I definitely wouldn't go like this and lose the game. That's what I mean by playing like an engine. When I say like playing like an engine, so instead, I'm starting to calmly defend here. I'm starting the calm defense here, and that's another thing where the engines are extremely good at. So I play calmly. Bishop goes to d7. And just protecting the pawn. Well, to be honest, I didn't see that these actually lose the opponent to grab the pawn. I didn't see that. So he didn't grab this pawn. Instead, he was introducing another threat. So he was trying to checkmate me here. All right. So what move do you think that I make here? Just give you a couple of seconds. And yes, knight goes to c8. That's the move. So just protecting. I'm calmly defending here. And then probably, I don't know, here engine doesn't suggest to take the pawn any longer for some reason. And actually, yeah, it seems like the position is around equal. So he's trying to centralize the rook, building the pressure. I believe he's preparing the e5 over here. So by the time I'm just trying to get rid of this threat, because I want to free my knight. I want my knight join the attack back. That's my dreams. So bishop actually wants to remain here, and here you might be wondering, so what happens if you take? So actually you will lose in this case, and well, maybe not immediately. Yeah, not immediately, but yeah, this, and it actually says, I don't know, for some reason the engine thinks that it's much better for whites. Yeah, probably just because of being paced down. But as a human, I wouldn't go for this. So I didn't take, or actually I did take. Oh my god, did I take this? Oh, whoa! I actually did take that. Oh man, yeah, I really played like an engine in this position. I didn't even. Now when I'm reviewing the game, when I'm analyzing the game, I think like, okay, as a human, I won't play this, but as the game shows, yeah. So here, yeah, actually, pawn takes, and this is okay. There is nothing dangerous there. So yeah, takes, and yeah. So what did I play next? Did I play Queen A4? Yes, I did play Queen A4. So the idea is that it just takes, I take, he takes, and potentially there may be some danger here. So this outpost post square. So if rook comes here and then potentially made it on C7, so I didn't want that. So another calm defending move. Well, despite the fact the engine actually, well, let's have a look at the engine variation here. So I'm wondering, so what happens in this case? Oh, I had to move. Yeah, I had to move. Queen goes to C3, takes, and here I'm just, well, according to computer I'm better, but I don't. Yes, I'm just a piece up here, but to be honest, I wouldn't like to play this position because I have a weak pawn here. Opponent has potentially dangerous pawn on F6, and yeah. Definitely this is better for black, but I wouldn't consider this position to play. So yeah, instead I just calmly defend my C6 with a queen, all right, and just a few more calm moves. Now, well, I'm not sure. Probably this is just a blunder. So I believe that what opponent meant here is if I capture the knight, then he captures, and then. No, I'm not even getting checkmated here. So, but probably he wanted something like this. Yeah, but unfortunately, another example of when you're calm, you're just not blundering and you see what's going on. You just calmly capture. That's what happened within the game. So queen takes, and now just trying to weak the queen. All right, now takes the knight because what else he can do? He can't defend this knight. This knight is doomed. So grabs the knight. Actually, he takes my bishop. Yeah, that's okay. And yeah, I believe he resigned after. White timeout. So yeah, he just ran out of time at this point. But anyway, I'm rook up. I have an attack still, and yeah. So that's how things went in this game. So let's have a look at the next one. So now I'm playing white, so I'm already 1800s, so I no longer can say that I'm a 1700s player. I still believe I am a 1700s player. I don't feel like 1800s, but anyway. Okay, so what was the game? Yeah, this time opponent is lower rated already because I've just gained my rating. Okay, let's have a look. I don't remember what exactly is this game about. Okay, so here I've changed the plan slightly a little bit. So usually I play G3, which by the way, if the opponent just plays D5 here, then already this position is not really going to be fantastic because yeah, just this is already, I believe this is better for blacks. So yeah, it's really easy to play against this, but yeah, no one does that for some reason. So here, instead of going for my casual plan with G2, I decided to go a bit more like, well, can't say that, I can't call this King's Gambit accepted style, but anyway, the idea is to play F4 and develop the bishop, open the F file. So the plan is slightly a little bit different. So yeah, and actually, indeed, he plays D4. He plays D5 here, right? And now already I'm going for my plan because here I can't play F4 because if I do so, if I play F4, then takes. Yeah, knight takes, and I end up with the isolated pawn in the center, and I believe that black has just a better endgame. Just slightly better endgame. I would have played this with blacks. Yeah, and computer also that shift the evaluation. So this didn't happen in the game though. So instead, I'm just playing G2 to G3 to support the central E4 square with the bishop. And my dreams is that he goes like this, and I can go for my sort of attack like this. So that was the plan. Okay, so something like this. And no, not like this. Okay, but you got the point. Hope you get the point. So maybe, yeah. That was the idea, to open this F file, put the rook, try to attack. But this didn't happen. So instead, so what happened? So G2, bishop goes to C5, and now here is a dangerous C2. Square becomes dangerous because if knight jumps, if I'm not careful. So for instance, if I go like this, then, well, engine suggests going D5, D4 himself, but I believe this potentially might have been an issue. Well, obviously there is a defense. Yeah, this move just horrible. But anyway, I decided to not play knight to F3 here at this point. So just bishop G2 calmly, castling, takes, and he thought maybe I would take more to develop his knight. Well, nope, I won't. And just calmly continuing the development. And here in this position, well, I believe the black is better. Yeah, engine thinks so. Thinks so as well. So I didn't do much out of the opening, and I didn't manage to bring my plan to life basically. But I was quite pretty happy with the development, and I had some time on the clock, so I was happy to play this position really. So just step inside with the king to push the F4 one day. All right, pin in the knight, just to provoke the weakness here, right? So now this bishop doesn't make, well, here, to be honest, guys, here this was I didn't see this move, even though it didn't result in losing material, but I didn't see this move. And another example of being calm. So after this move, I was thinking like, okay, I'm playing the lower rated player and I'm gonna lose a piece, and most likely I will lose this game. I don't like that scenario, so what can I do in this position? And I did exactly what engine suggested. I just went for to hound the bishop here, and yes, he didn't capture. Well, instead I just wanted to. Well, I don't know how engine could suggest going to C8. That seems miserable, but anyway. So we just exchanged the bishop, and I was pretty happy. And here already he blunders his knight. I know what did I do? Yeah, I saw this, but for some reason I didn't consider to take the knight, and I went just like the engine suggests. Yeah, I went knight to C5 because this bishop seemed to be more valuable for me. But by the way, let's have a look. Why is that bad to capture this guy here? So because of this. Here, here, and here, and for some reason he thinks that actually black is okay here. Well, I believe it is the case. So yeah, knight goes to C5 because knight is really stupid on A4. So I want to centralize the knight. So potentially going to E4 to exchange with this one. I don't know. I didn't really. The reason of moving the bishop to C8 was probably to wait, exchanging it for a knight and ruining the pawn structure. I believe that's the idea. So I'm going to E4, exchanging there, and I just don't want the bishop going to G4, hence A3. But here I didn't even see that. Yeah, this is a blunder, so he probably can just take. Oh, he can take. Okay, I'm not sure if I have seen this in the game, guys. I swear I'm not sure if I've seen this in the game. Probably I didn't, but now I see. Yeah, if it takes, then just losing the knight is not an option here as well. So yeah, H3 actually works in this position, surprisingly. Okay, check. All right, and again, just to prevent the knight from going to my part of the board. And I believe this move, yeah, is an accuracy and engine considers thinks so as well. And already, well, to be honest, I like what black does here and what black has achieved. And well, if someone else would play black, then he definitely he should win this. He should win this game. But yeah, because of this inaccuracy, so first one is f4. What did I respond? Yeah, king h2. So I was okay. So probably I thought if it takes, then I just take, or if it takes with a pawn. So this was fine. And this move is really not to the point. So just this is just bad. So check. Now I have the blocking piece. I have the blocking bishop, the Nimzovich style blocking bishop here. And the knight goes trying to grab the pawn. Well, even though still the evaluation is in Blake's favor, here already I started loving the position. All right. And yeah, and suddenly, yeah, you see like how the evaluation shifts here. So let's have a look how this actually happened. So rook to g8. So yeah, it wants to push. Well, if he pushed, so for instance, let's say I don't know. I still want to go here. So let's say he pushed the pawn. In this case, yeah, I just go to h4 and there is no attack here. Then I would try to reinvent the wheel on the queen side, rerouting somewhere here. This, yeah, unfortunately the knight is completely dead and out of the game, and I can't do nothing to that. But yeah, I have 3 pieces. So what would I be trying to do? Something maybe, yeah, just crush through the center. I don't know. So yeah, what did we have? And okay, so yeah, indeed I did play rook to d3, and yeah, this move is really strange. I don't know what he was thinking about. He probably thought that if I take with the rook that he grabs with the queen, and he didn't see this knight. I believe that was the case. So yeah, I was really happy to grab actually this with the rook, and after you see like suddenly white is much better here. So now I go exchanging everything. Okay, so check, takes, and brilliancy here, just winning another piece. So let's have a look how this happened. So I really enjoyed this because I did calculate this, I swear. So let's have a look how things going on here. So starting at this point, so takes, all right, and yes. So I was thinking as if I take, then he takes, then check, and I didn't think he would go here, for instance, so I was sure he goes to h8 for some reason. In that case, I just can take the pawn on e5 and win the knight, win the piece. Yeah, engine style game, very tactical. So this is exactly what we're going for. So check, and yeah, I didn't take into account the move like queen goes to, yeah, actually didn't take into account this one. Yeah, in this case we have around equal position. So yeah, he just should have go for this. Fortunately he didn't. Unfortunately he blundered here. So we have king to h8, which decides the game really, and grabs the knight and check again, and all right, check, takes. Okay. Okay, and takes. Could I? Actually, I just could checkmate. I could just, yeah, could go here, then queen goes, then mate. What did I consider? Takes, check. Yeah, I didn't see that mate. I didn't see that mate. That's because it was down on the clock, so it was kind of losing on time already. So yeah, I decided to. Yeah, there was a mate. Let's have a look. So here actually. After this move, I just could go rook to d8, which proves again that wasn't cheating in this game. Yeah, and if queen defends, then takes, and this is the checkmate. Yeah, quite fantastic one. Yeah, but this didn't happen, so I was thinking that it just takes, and then I just start, I don't know, queening my pawns at some point. So yeah, something like this. Yeah. Something like this. Something like this. Okay. So I don't know, yeah, just I would be trying to queen the pawn there, and that's kind of it. So yeah, let's have a look at the next game. Only 3 games left, so we're almost done. And what do we have here? Some, yeah, now I'm playing versus 1800s, and the 1800s player. So Pirc defense again, another Pirc defense. And again, what I've been mentioning many times already. So going bishop to e3 in case if you have the knight on f3 is not really that great idea because of this move. Even though I didn't consider it just directly straight ahead, but I mean like that this idea of building the pressure, exchanging and crashing through the h file doesn't quite work if you have a knight on f3. So just to bear that in mind. So b5, same thing. So you see the position is exactly the same to what happened in the previous games. Yeah, but since the opponent castled kingside, I castled kingside as well, and I was pretty happy with this position. So now counterplaying on the queen side, same thing again. Now trying to put the pressure onto the e4. One day I dreamed to play e5. I'm not sure if I did manage to do that. And now, yeah, finally asking the bishop where it's about to go. Okay, so just gets and change. And finally e5. And yeah, yeah, still slightly better for black, by the way, despite the center that white has. Still slightly better for black. All right. So just continue the development. So in the hope that he takes and I grab his queen. Yes, that was my evil plan. All right. So still, despite the fact that pawn goes, still black is better according to the engine. All right. So now what one's here? I don't remember. Yeah, here is the idea. Yeah, I was thinking about going here, but I didn't consider it because probably of this move. And yeah, I didn't see this. I didn't see this one. Yeah, I didn't see this one. Okay, so that's another interesting variation to take into account. So the move I actually made was to protect the pawn, and it's actually dropped the evaluation because I thought if I just go like this, then he takes, and then I'm just pawn down. I didn't see this move. Yeah, c4 is a fantastic move, and even if he takes, then I grab, and why not to take here even? So yeah, probably. But anyway, yeah, I don't really like this position, so probably was just fine how this happened within the game. So just protecting the pawn, preparing c5. And indeed, I do play c5, and now I do play, stop here. Playing c5, knight drops back, and I'm trying to put this bishop away from the attack so it doesn't torture my king side any longer. So it just drops somewhere. It just prevents this connection between the rook and the queen, which is also good news for me. Now blocking the pawn. So well, Nimsevich wouldn't be happy about this blocking rook, I believe. So it's better to use knights, our best to use, than maybe bishops, maybe king at some point, but definitely not the rooks. This is one of the downsides. So yeah, and he generates sort of an attack. But can you spot the move here in this position, guys? Well, actually, Stockfish shows this. Yeah, it's just another blunder. And again, it's another fantastic example. So in this position, you would most likely, if you're as weak player as I am, you would most likely not see that it's just a blunder because you're thinking like, oh, my queen is getting attacked and I need to put it somewhere. So for instance here, and then what happens next? And probably, no, maybe not like this, but anyway, this looks frightening. However, if you don't care about the result much, you just see, okay, it just blunders, and you just calmly take the gift, basically. All right, so yeah, by the way, there was quite a nice move of knight goes to c6. Yeah, I believe this was a bit stronger. However, this didn't happen in the game. Instead, he played f5, right? And this allows me, yeah, this is bad because this allows me to actually conquer this line, torture the queen, and force the exchanges because I'm face up currently. So I just want to exchange everything, which I do, and then winning a pawn. All right, winning. I could have won another pawn. I didn't consider that at the moment. So capturing with the h pawn to make sure that I can hide behind my own pose here, right? Okay, so he's trying to checkmate me here, not so fast. Okay, and then just trying to avoid getting checkmated himself on the back rank. All right, and I'm just trying to queen my pawns instead. And yeah, here is another evil plan by King, so which worked exactly how I wanted to. So as if I was queening here, right? And here, actually, he was thinking that I'm gonna queen, and he was trying to prevent that, so I'm not playing like so. But he didn't see that this was the discovered attack to the rook. So I just calmly grab the rook, and white resigns this position. Okay guys, we're almost there, so 2 more games, and this one of the most interesting because here I'm playing versus a really stronger opponent, so his rating here is 2000s, yeah, even more. And when I was playing this guy, I really felt that he's definitely stronger, like around 2000s, 2050, maybe even 2100. Well, maybe not 2100, maybe 20 and 50. So, somewhere around like that. And yeah, I did exactly the same against him. Yeah, actually I wanted to play this, I wanted to try this plan with playing f4, which I did. So I didn't go for my King's Indian attack style system, and instead, yeah, I considered playing in the engine style with him, so like good old Fritz engine did. So bishop f4, queen d2, castling king side. But yeah, this wasn't that fortunate, and I did even manage to open this g-file against the king. So I was absolutely happy with the position, but unfortunately there was slight inaccuracy, and I'm really proud of this move because it does prevent the knight from stepping in, right? But yes, I didn't see this one, which actually doesn't allow me to castle any longer. So probably I don't know, what should I play here? Doesn't seem that I had that much of a options here, so it's already h4 is weak, so something has gone wrong, I believe earlier. So maybe I should have just castled here. I believe I should have castled here, and then if it goes like, yeah, that maybe just, I don't know, maybe like now here, and now he takes. Now this works. So yeah, now this is just, so probably it would be better to have a position like this. Unfortunately, this didn't happen in the game, but this made the game even more interesting. Okay, sorry, I've been a bit distracted. So takes, and yeah, I was really proud with this move because it controls the dark squares and the knight is not infiltrating. Yeah, but unfortunately, queen h4 was something that I really blundered within this game. However, this wasn't a big problem, so he just tries to grab my f3, and I was a bit of a bit inattention here in this position in particular. So, well, not the most ever brilliant move to go with the knight to the edge of the board, but I really wanted this bishop to go somewhere because otherwise he's extremely strong by eyeing the f2, which I couldn't just leave with that fact. So yeah, asking the bishop to go somewhere, exchanging the bishops. So I just wasted a tempo, but yeah, that's fine. So it just tries to grab my rook, prevent that. And yeah, so and let's have a look at what we have after the opening. So I have, well, my king has stuck in the center, which is not good, but I have a fantastic g-file. So I can potentially build a pressure here. I have the knight that would step into the attack as well. And the only piece which is not the most fantastic ever here is my rook. The pawn structure is not ruined, so it's, well, I have a weak pawn on f3, but if I go like f4, f5 one day, this might not be an issue any longer. And for blacks, so his queen is blocking own pawns, so sorry, it takes too long to, I don't know, somehow to develop his pieces, bring the rook in. So yeah, maybe just step aside d5. So probably he had to play for d5. He had to just step aside and play d5. So yeah, but anyway, let's have a look what happened within the game. So he's trying to grab the pawn, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just threatening mate in 1. So this is protected, and then I'm connecting the rooks just like the engine suggests. All right, so engine style play, and yeah, oh, stop there. So just like the engine suggests, connecting the rooks. So now potentially I can just try to evict this queen if I'm happy, if I'm lucky enough. Then what? He grabs the pawn. Well, I believe that just like the engine suggests, I would have played d5 here because this would compromise the king safety a lot, and just push the rest of pawns, also developing the pieces, bring the rooks in, and it should have played the center because the king safety white king is not the most fantastic ever, but instead he tried to grab this pawn by giving me another avenue to attack his king, which wasn't really that fantastic idea. But he grabbed the pawn, right? So f4. So I got rid of my weak pawn here. So it's no longer weak while being on f4. Not only because it's protected, but mostly because it's going to undermine this one, the g6. It's no longer a backward pawn. So I was quite pretty happy with this position already. At this point, f6. Well, it's a little bit arguable. Where did I go? Yeah, I just decided to calmly exchange the knights, exchange the queens, and yeah, the engine suggests going to c5, yes, and then d5 and play something, but it's not really clear. And having having opponent's king around my opponent's queen around my king didn't seem to be that fantastic option for me. So just to give you an idea, how was I thinking? Before considering the exchange of queens, so I was thinking like the queen side of the opponent is just undeveloped, and I can take an advantage of this. So I was sure that my knight is going to be much stronger as opposed to his bishop, and I also have the connection for my rooks, and generally this should be an advantageous endgame for whites, even though the evaluation is really 0 here. But anyway, so I decided to exchange the queens, and well, he had an option to avoid that. So for instance, I don't know, maybe go into here, but you see, I guess already it's bad because yeah, this is why it's bad. And yeah, now the attack starts. So even if it plays d5, yes, exactly how I would have done this. So now we have the attack, so it's not really. Yeah, this starts losing for black. So he was wise enough to exchange the queens. So yeah, we have the queens being exchanged. So queen takes, rook takes. Finally d5. Oh my god, I think he would never play d5, but fortunately he did. And here I don't mind to exchange because, well, maybe it was a little bit better to actually. Well, okay, I didn't take. Okay, I see. I didn't take here because I didn't want to have the isolated pawn. Right, so that's the reason. So just connect to the rooks instead. And here I have pawns that are kind of going together. They can do something. I didn't manage to have the pawn majority on the other side, but still, well, just I thought this would be good enough. So this endgame, it's like, well, for some reason it's considered to be better for blacks, but I managed to win this endgame, believe it or not. So here is how things went. Okay, and this is it. So I was just trying to centralize the king, but for some reason I have no idea why did he grab that pawn. Because yes, because of this move, b2 to b3, and yeah, and it just loses the bishop. So I don't know, he probably had to do like this and just trying to make use of his pawn majority and support it with the rooks and trying to, I don't know, do something with my knight. So probably this position could have like make sense, both sense and chances to win. Even though the engine thinks that's better for whites because just a piece up, but well, I don't know which side would I consider. Well, probably maybe even black because this pawn majority seems to be really crushing. But anyway, this didn't happen in the game, and instead I just calmly. Yeah, so I'm creating the protected passed pawn. So I have no idea why on earth did I actually play f5 here. So I think this is the mistake. Yeah, you see the evaluation drops. I have no idea. So should it play like, yeah, it really should have just take and maybe, I don't know, maybe just protect the pawn or something like that. Yeah, but for some reason he played f5, which I believe is really an accuracy here. So definitely e5 in response. And still, he should have captured the pawn, but he didn't. And I don't know what was he thinking here. So maybe he was trying to double the rooks, but why? It doesn't do much really. So I just calmly grabbed the bishop, and I'm just saving my pawns. All right. So another strange move. So yeah, probably it didn't really, the time was about equal. So I don't know, it just probably was a bit upset and started making mistakes. So just gave me another pawn here. And yeah, another interesting option. So what I was thinking here, so if it takes my knight, then I grab the rook and I'm better, right? And if he grabs the rook and I grab the rook, then I'm just piece up, and now I have the pawn majority and my pawns are protected. And this is actually exactly what has happened within the game. So yeah, let's move from here. And yeah, just another example of calm moves here. So protecting my pawns. Okay. All right. And now this position is interesting. You just have a look, because king can go here. This square is covered. And I just want to say that even though that playing h7 to h5 seems reasonable because it's just trying to queen, because what else you can do, right? But it actually leaves this weak pawn on g6, and this is really horrible. And this is what happens. So after this move, king can no longer support this pawn. So I moved rook to g3, hitting the pawn, right? And yeah, he sees that he can't do nothing to that, and also all of these squares are covered as well. So he doesn't have any chances here in this position. It's like the evaluation is crushing here, right? And I'm just trying to be safe, so trying to avoid having this pawns and calmly capturing with a knight. All right, was it a checkmate? Stockfish shows the checkmate in tan here. Let's have a look. Check. Well, it's probably quite a long variation. Checkmate in 8. Let's have a look. This is the forcing variation. Oh, yeah. So it's based on. It's interesting variation. Takes. Yeah. This is what he was thinking about. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so this was the checkmate by Stockfish, but no, in the game this happened a little bit differently. All right. So yeah, another just from the human perspective, this might be interesting. So what he tries to do here, so he tries to prevent my pawn from queening, and the reason why I've captured one of the reasons of why I've captured this pawn with the knight and not the, well, actually yes, I couldn't I couldn't capture with the pawn. I see this. I couldn't do that, but let's imagine that I could. Let's imagine my king is here, for instance. So if I take, then it's hard to say how to protect this pawn when it starts queening. But here, actually, we have the preserved square for a knight, so knight would go to e5 anyway. And here, this is just right. This is just the right time. And this is the engine move as well. All right. And now, yeah, nothing can prevent me from queening. All right. So he grabs the pawn, but yes, I just don't mind to exchange. And this is how we. Well, I don't know why he didn't resign. Probably because he just had time. So yeah, I was brutally checkmating him like this. I don't know how to checkmate with king and queen nicely and quickly, so I just made another queen. I was happy with that. That was fairly enough. And the very last game, last but not least, so Kobmaki King versus, yes, at this time around equal rated player, Killer 2311 111 953. Yes, let's have a look. This is the very last game. I'm playing whites here, and yeah, we have this king in attack style system. All right. So yeah, well, this is the reasonable continuation. So here, what the system assumes black to do to have an advantage with white is something like this. So here, for instance, we can just play f4 and he castles and maybe just like this. And yeah, so it's just plain, and something like this. So this is the position. So the idea is to just keep pushing the pawns, like reroute the knights somewhere to here, maybe exchange one day, step aside with a king, with a bishop, and eventually checkmate one day on g7. So that's what white do, but that is what white want to do. And as you can see here, in this type of positions, all the black forces are cut off from the battle, basically, and that's bad for them. And that's the way how I'll play the engines I've written on my own, because engine doesn't know anything about this, and it just usually pushes this d5 to d4. So yeah, this didn't happen in the game, and what happened in the game is quite reasonable. So it just exchanges on e4, which is quite nice. And yeah, here already I'm thinking about castling queenside, because I'm losing too many tempos, and it seems quite okay to castle queenside. So still going for f4 potentially, still knight goes somewhere, maybe even on f3. So yeah, calmly step aside, and here I offer the exchange of queens. I was started at this point already, so I thought that we have around equal position. Engine agrees on this, so I thought that if we just like takes, and let's just play chess a little bit. So I was going to play something like this, right? But surprisingly, opponent didn't go for it. He decided to give his queen. Okay. And starting from this point, well, normally you would resign after this move. And another examples, like when you're playing 1800s, and when he makes a move like this, well, I don't know how about you guys, but most cases I won't see this bishop takes. I just will blunder this. But yeah, he's cool. He's trying to attack the b2. He's trying to crush through the king side. Yeah, so everything good apart if he just didn't blunder his queen. So this matter of being calm actually allows you seeing this, and yeah, that's fantastic. So I take, and yeah, now game is going to be really interesting, because he's playing as if he didn't blunder the queen, and I need to admit and admire the fact that he was playing nicely after, so he didn't resign, and he kept playing. And this game actually put me. I was really tired after this game. After this game, I just dropped from playing longer because I was really exhausted. So let's have a look. Despite the fact he lost his queen already, it's still quite interesting. So now my idea is, since I'm queen up, I just try to exchange everything and actually win the game. And he understands that, because he's 1800s player, so he doesn't understand that, and he's trying to do everything to avoid that sort of a scenario. And what he tries to do, he tries to play in the center. He's trying to conquer the center and fight for the center, and this is allowing me. So this entire game is going to be about fighting this e4 and e5 squares. Let's have a look what happened, right? So I'm putting the pressure to on the central files, all right? Okay, yeah, so evaluation is definitely better. So, all right, and here we go. So already after this, knight goes to. So I believe that he couldn't play. Well, actually, even engine suggests this. Even engine suggests going to e4. Yeah, but actually this is losing, because yeah. So here he definitely had to go for this. Right, at least he could have a chance. So takes. I would exchange everything. Yes, takes, and maybe takes. Yeah. So, but at least there is some play here still. And if we're not equal on the clock, then definitely has a chance. But this didn't happen in the game. So instead, it just tried to put even more pressure. It's like we are fighting for this e4 square. So he has 1, 2, 3 attackers, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. So 3 versus 5. So definitely I'm winning this battle, right? So takes, and I just exchange everything, and check, and Here, as far as I'm better, I decided just to exchange everything and be in a rook up. Well, nothing really special, nothing really interesting here. So yeah, did he resign after? Yeah, black resigned at this position. Okay guys, so this is it from my side. Again, like if you have any doubts if this kind of works versus the stronger opponents, please feel free to have a look at my games I've played versus stronger opponents. There would be the splash screens with the links. You'll probably already see those. So feel free to have a look at those games as well. Thanks for watching. This is it from my side. Until the next time, and take care.